You know, I've been able to actually be around multimillionaires. Um, and really, once you get, in my estimation, once you get to decamillionaire status, tens of millions of dollars, it's really not much of a lifestyle change, of a difference between you and a billionaire, right? But billionaire just sounds more grandiose, more lofty, and it just sounds better. But there's really no difference between a multimillionaire and a billionaire in a lot of aspects. You can debate me on that, talk about that in the comments. But one of the mentors that I've had was a multimillionaire, and he would say all the time, "I could be a billionaire, but I don't want to be. I don't need to be." Same morning. I'm good. How are y'all? I'm, I'm, I'm good. Appreciate it. Um, a not he's not a mentor, but he's a figure in my organization. He's a multimillionaire, and they have a way of thinking. Okay, there's a way of thinking that produces wealth, and it's as surely as a seed produces a tree. And one thing that I've found in conversation, a collective conversation, is about being a chosen one, and most chosen ones, um, it's not required to be a chosen one to have a billionaire way of thinking, a multi-millionaire way of thinking, right? Because it's rooted in some simple truths and some principles and some key traits of a millionaire, multi-millionaire. When I say billionaire, I really mean not exactly a billionaire, but a multi-millionaire, right? Because there's plenty of millionaires walking around, but like multi-millionaires, um, they just operate differently. Okay. The truth is that many of them don't have any advanced special knowledge, advanced degrees. Some of them didn't finish high school or college. They're not the most learned people, especially these two particular ones that I'm thinking about that I have in my mind. Um, but what separates them isn't their schooling. It's not a diploma. It's not a degree. It's discipline. They are dogmatic about the basics. You'll hear me emphasize that to no end. The basics, principles. Memorize them, recite them, write them on the tablet of your heart, as the Bible says, and then apply them until those basics become second nature. That's what they do. So from this ground level, from that foundation, you do things like what I've noticed um, billionaires think or billionaires do is they form different questions, better questions, not longer questions, not necessarily clever questions, better questions, bottom line questions. Because the person who asks the bottom line question wins the room. Superiors in any organization, in any senior leadership, your superiors are going to be very selective. Their time is scarce, and their attention is even scarcer. So if you can mirror that economy of time with an economy of words, you'll gain more favor than the smartest person in the room who just rambles and brags and whatever. Um, to gain favor with such people, you must mirror that selectivity. Speak with speak with precision. That's an attribute I'm always attaining after. Speaking with precision, and then that's a way of showing gratitude for their attention by economizing your words. Now, you'll notice how this plays out in the way billionaires communicate. Jeff Bezos says, "Your margin is my opportunity." That's a statement that he is famous for. Steve Jobs, when he came out with the iPhone, with the iPad, or with the what the hell is it called? iPod, my bad. 1,000 songs in your pocket. Simple, right? Precise. Warren Buffett, be fearful when others are greedy. These are their principles, um, their way of thinking synthesized in simple language. Each phrase is condensed wisdom, complex truths that you can expound on, but it's compressed into memorable simplicity. And this is not a talent, it's a discipline. This is something that you learn, something that you can grow into. Concise communication isn't just elegance, it's power. It's elegant power. Um, it signals clarity of thought, again, respect for time, and the ability to distill complexity into value. And then here's another trait the ultra wealthy share. It's their relationship with risk, right? What feels dangerous to most is them at play. It's play to them. Why? Because they don't treat risk as one off bets. They test, they iterate and reiterate faster than most people can even get started. One person may test one idea a year. The ultra wealthy, a billionaire minded operator, they might test a dozen in a month. And then each iteration creates a new pathway to new opportunities. And even the failures create data. Data is everything. Data is currency to refine the next move. That's why the basics, clarity, common sense, that's why they matter so much because they provide the foundation for speed of implementation. And you're not bogged down in jargon or fear of being wrong because you can't play fast enough to win. So the bottom line is billionaires and ultra wealthy, um, they aren't geniuses because they know everything. Um, they operate in their circle of influence, their sphere of competence, and they're masters because they know what to ask, who to ask, how to say it simply, when to move, and be precise. And their success is rooted in a relentless focus on value, in principles, and the basics, clarity, common sense, and in order to get information, they ask better questions. Now, you can practice these with some intention, with some diligence, and you'll find yourself in the company of greater favor, greater opportunity, greater wealth, and I can attest to that. There's a reason why I'm able to get in the rooms that I'm able to get into. I'm not a billionaire yet. Well, I am. It just hasn't showed up fully in the material world, and that's what you have to believe. You have to believe that most billionaires were millionaires, or most billionaires were billionaires in their mind before it ever materialized. Every successful person, really, they were that in their mind before it ever materialized. Anyway, that's what all I have for you. Like, share, subscribe. Peace and blessings. Take care.